Has Miles Morales truly met his match in a web-slinger who fights and moves exactly like he does? Well then, let's hop into the pages of Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 18 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up from where the last issue left off, Miles was jumped in his own home by a guy dressed in a Spider-Man costume exactly like his. At first, he assumes this guy is just a pretender, a rip-off trying to get inside his head by wearing his costume, but wait, this guy can actually stick to walls, he's fast, he has spider sense. Personally, I actually thought that this was Ultimatum, the Miles from the 616 universe who's decided to really twist the knife in by dressing up like Miles, only no, that doesn't seem to be the case. Miles is ever so briefly able to get a leg up on this guy by using his Venom Blast, a power that this guy seemingly doesn't have, not yet anyway. Being a true hero, it's in this brief reprise our Spider-Man doesn't worry about himself or his own safety, but the safety of his parents and new baby sister who are headed home at this moment. Miles tries to warn them on the phone, knowing that whatever evil is behind this, it quite literally knows where he lives. Unfortunately, Jefferson and his mother are in their own danger right now. A group of uniformed thugs has cornered them and attempts to take them hostage. Jefferson quite bravely makes a break for it, knowing they'll chase after him. At first, I thought these guys were more agents of Cradle, but no, the uniforms are totally different. And hey, speaking of Cradle, we are still very much dealing with the fallout of Champions Outlawed. Granted, there's been so much time in between individual issues, there's probably a good chance you forgot that that was the overarching story of this and the Miss Marvel book right now. You see, a bunch of the jackbooted Cradle agents are at that night's high school basketball game, forcing the student athletes to sign pledges that they'll turn in their other classmates if they start exhibiting superhero-ish tendencies. One of the star players refuses, and Ganke and Miles' other roommates start backing her up, staging an impromptu little sit-in that's actually backed up by one of the kids' parents who turns out to work in local politics. Needless to say, the Cradle agents do not take this lightly. After all, these are children they're supposed to be policing, and so far the children have made them look stupid at every turn. Now, poor Miles' house ended up getting exploded in his exchange with the fake Spider-Man. He sneaks away just long enough to put on his own costume, and hey look, the fake one has a messed up costume, and that's how we can tell them apart. The fighting game mirror match continues to happen all over town, and it seems that this clone is actively learning the longer it fights Miles. In fact, they have a little bit of an energy struggle going on with Venom Blasts. Miles ends up getting knocked out during the exchange. When he wakes up, he's horrified to realize he has once again been taken captive by the Assessor, the strange gray-skinned monstrosity, who had tried to test the limits of his power, and to also seek to imply that maybe he's going after other members of the Ultimate Universe as well. Either way, it's on that shocking note that the comic comes to a close, and so that was Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 18, and once again I am enjoying what Saladin Ahmed is doing here, even if I feel he's doing it a little slowly. I'm glad the whole Outlawed stuff isn't being completely all-encompassing, especially considering the massively long waits we've had to have in between these stories. I also guess at this point in Marvel Comics, having a Spider-Person have to deal with their own equivalent of the Clone Saga is basically a rite of passage and something Miles hasn't had to do yet. I had also assumed too in my earlier readings that everything that was going on with the Assessor and the Miles Morales from the 616 universe and the Ultimate Green Goblin were all connected, but this story seeks to imply that no, they're not. In fact, if I'm correct, and I like to think that I might be onto something here, this story also implies that Miles' two parents and now his baby sister are going to be much more important too in this arc because, well, they too are refugees from the Ultimate Universe. I'm hoping that this story as it goes on will maybe give us a little bit more insight to this idea Saladin Ahmed has been playing with called the Spider Gene. Overall, though, I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7.5 out of 10, pretty solid. Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.